back, I'm Gerty rude, back again, the Friday mood. Well, here we are, it's Friday, I've got myself through to Friday, and I thought I'd come on here. I was going to create some parodies or something, I don't know. Hadn't quite made my mind up whether to do Mr. Concerned, Gin and Skins, or something else, I don't know. But I've got a few other things to do tonight, so I thought what I'd do is quickly come on here to give my reaction to last night's, whatever it was that went on. Somebody contacted me at home, it was about midnight, and said that somebody was on a live, and a certain other person that doesn't live in Britain had been invited on the live, and was given a platform without me having any right to defend myself or a right to reply. So I thought I'd do this quickly. Several points that I caught, because I only caught the last 20 minutes or so, and I'm given to believe it was about 3 hours. And no, I haven't read the transcript. And no, I'm not going to listen to it either. But other people have sent me pointers of different things that were said. And obviously a certain person was there gang-handed, because she can't ever just stand up for herself on her own. She always has to have a little gang with her. And they were all in the comments, and I went in the comments to back up somebody else that was in the comments that was having a hard time. And the person whose channel it wasn't watching the comment thread, so she wasn't seeing what was being said. I wasn't sure. It was almost like the Taylor Swift had been asked on. Do you get me? It's just, it was vomit inducing. Especially when some people know better than others what they're dealing with. What you see isn't really what's happening. I don't know how else to put it really, but apparently last week I was on a live with Misha. Well, it wasn't apparently, I popped on a live. I can't remember what about though. A week is a long time in my life, and I couldn't quite hear properly because I was having like an echo reverberation, so whatever I said I could hear being repeated. So when I was talking, I could hear either what they just said being repeated again, like a reverb. So I'd heard it the first time, then it was repeated the second time, and it was really difficult to hear what was being said. So I clicked out and tried to link back in, and then clicked out, tried to link back in again. I think in the end I just gave up. But apparently that was me obviously showing that I'm a liar, and I was lying about not being able to get a connection, because they know this, they're psychic as well as everything else. And so I think what we have gleaned from probably the last few months is that if you do ever step in to support somebody and you don't know who they are, you could end up, watch what's happened to me, to post people's private messages with no context. Like, the way I look at it is most people are discerning enough to think, well, that's a message that is private and personal, and you shouldn't really have posted it. And also, you shouldn't have posted it out of context, because what you're suggesting is that was just said randomly, and that other post was random. There was no preamble, there was no back and forth, there was no banter, no context to it at all. Just post a bit. And I think we've already established, or I think Madame La Histrionique has established, or tried to establish, that screenshots apparently can be faked. So there's always that to it. I haven't read any of the ones on X. I stay away from it. People have sent me a few, and it's just what a load of bleeding shit. Just shite. Just utter abject nonsense. And of course, I could play that game. I could write a bleeding book. I could publish a whole load. It would be a book from all of them. But I wouldn't do that, because it's immature, it's childish, it's cowardly. You don't do that. If you can't stand on your own and debate properly and maturely, then that is just mean girls in the playground. Do you see me gang-handed? I'm literally just on my own. Yeah, sometimes I do link up with like-minded people. It's usually more to do with the humour, like Melty, because she's got a fantastic sense of humour, like Slime. I get his sense of humour. I mean, it is left field, and sometimes it can be quite agonising, but I get him. I never said, as far as I'm aware, because I couldn't hear, like I've said, I've already explained what was happening my end. I couldn't quite hear. I thought I'd agreed to pass on some emails that were not to be made public. They were just general emails to do with something or other, nothing to do with the Spanish people. None of that. I would never ever pass that on to anybody, because it's given to me in confidence, and I wouldn't break somebody's confidence. The other thing is, we're going over that tired same old ground where I think Sapper's already produced a video where he asked my permission to show my screenshot, so it was mine, and I agreed to have it shown. The real thing that I'd actually said. But we're still on that tired old, apparently somebody was texting Sapper from their deathbed. It's histrionic, it's exploitative, it's elaborating, it's falsifying, it's embroidering, and some churlish people might actually say it's just lying, to be fair, because nothing like that was said. Nothing like that was ever said. I just made the broader point that for whatever reason, the late great Baron had a friendship on WhatsApp group with Sapper, and I'd been privy to the chat, so I know it's true. Several things that are in there that will fuck not only the person up involved, a big soul, but it would also fuck up an even bigger YouTuber. I mean, a very, very big YouTuber. That's why I would never pass them on, and I gave my word I wouldn't pass them on, so I wouldn't. But I've got them. It's basically around about the court case business and the whole absolutely atrocious account, because I'd been fingered for it last. Well, let's say fingered, fitted up basically for it. People in the Atalanta crew had been persuaded that I was running the account, but actually it's the other person that was running it, and that's in the chat. That is what was being discussed in the private chat, and because it's private, I know what it said, but I'm not going to publish it. You can believe me or you can not believe me, I don't care. But I originally had all of that given to me because I was going to this big defamatory court case or whatever that hasn't materialised. So that's how that all came about. So I had every bit of evidence going back years. I had so much stuff, it was unbelievable. And with the person involved, I mean, old Charlie Manson, it doesn't matter about going back years. I mean, you know, you can have a whole harvest of evidence in one day if you need it. And it's totally organically renewed all the time, isn't it? So I'm not sure what that was all about. I don't like the gang-handed business. If you've got something to say, you should say it just to me. You plaster it all over X, okay? What you did is out of order. You don't pose as that sort of victim. You also watch me being interviewed under caution, knowing that you were behind it. And it doesn't matter how many times you say you haven't got any soccer accounts, I've got it in black and white that you have. Well, actually, I think it's blue on WhatsApp, isn't it? Or green, I can't remember. But whatever it is, I've got it. So it's just BS. Stop. Okay, it might sound good to all your little people, all blow smoke up your arse. I don't know what they're literally doing, to be honest, but only it's just a study in pathetic, immature, spiteful, mean girl cowardice. Because you knew I couldn't do anything to defend myself. I wasn't asked to defend myself. I wasn't given a chance to defend myself, even though I was in the chat. The person whose channel it wasn't watching the chat. They were so busy. I don't know what they were doing. I was waiting for one of them to get Denise to get her bleeding autograph book out. But there you go. Whatever. Nah. I'm not putting up with any of that. That's completely BS. And I'll parody who the hell I want. And the other thing, I think what we can take away from the last few months is certain people have no regard for people with special needs whatsoever, and don't find that in any way, as a mature adult, they should feel any sort of duty of care or even consideration towards somebody with special needs. And then we had the whole mental health, you know, everybody should be in asylum, shouldn't be allowed on social media, pot kettle black. So we've had all that, the sheer prejudice towards people with extra considerations, whether it's through mental health or special needs. And now the latest that's come about, someone did a parody of me on Blanders, because apparently now I've got Alzheimer's. yes, I'm senile now and I need to be put in an old people's home. Because basically, they know, well, they don't, but she knows I've got the goods. Okay, so obviously I need to be rubbished, I need to be traduced, you need to be humiliated in the court of public opinion. And that's how it's rolling at the moment, isn't it, really? So it's not okay, it's not cool to put that sort of stuff around. I mean, you're not a psychiatrist, you're not an anythingist. Well, you are a fewist, actually, but not a psychiatrist. Unless you're getting it like old gin and skins where you think you're a psychotherapist or something. You can't, like, diagnose people with senile dementia and Alzheimer's, love. I mean, you know. And then the thing is that people don't look at it this way. If I was on here one day and I heard, say, Madame la Histrionique over in Le Levant come out and say, well, so-and-so's got Alzheimer's, and then carry on taking the piss out of them, mocking them, and then in essence also bullying them by threatening to post this and threatening to do that. I mean, most salient people would listen and think, my God, you're a nasty bitch. But for some reason, her people lap it up. So I can only assume it's birds of a feather type of flock together. Because either I've got senile dementia, maybe you shouldn't be posting private messages about me and upsetting me and gang-handedly bullying me day and night, plastering me all over X all the time, constantly. Even when I've done or mentioned nothing about you, I come up. I mean, your pipe burst in Spain and I'm in the video. But apparently it's an emergency, but you still had time to edit me into the video. Because of what? And all your bullshit about I asked you to pick over... Shut up. The only thing you're jealous is that you know I've seen his little Pritt stick and you ain't. That's the truth of it. So there you go. I will say what I want and I will have my say. I was not obfuscating the issue. I think I was asked a question and it reverberated. And it was a question about you. And because I'm not an immature little bitch, like mean girl in the playground, I wasn't prepared to talk about you publicly like that. I'll talk about you on my own terms when I want to, not in a sort of to and fro on a live. So I fielded the question and said no comment, because I didn't want to comment. That is my right not to comment. Just like it was my right to sort of accept apologies of certain people. Apparently, is heir to human, and to forgive is divine. Maybe you should try some of that, but there you go, you're about as far from divine as anybody else. And then labelling Sapper as a what you labelled him as. You're pathetic. That's pathetic. Especially after what you've been up to, you little madam. Nasty old boot.